Sam, at some stage you were going to play AFL this year, but what have you made of it?
Yeah, no, I've loved every minute of it, mate. Happy to get the call up, and you don't want to see a teammate go down, but when opportunity arises, and you want to put your best foot forward, and feels I've put a few good games together, and just loving being out there at the moment.
Would it be right to say you didn't think you'd be lead ruckman though?
I think I was happy to take that role and step up as number one, and I've got good help in Jeremy Finlayson, Todd Marshall, and Power Pepper. They're helping me out, so covered pretty well when I need a rest. So yeah.
Lucas, we can see your hand in the shot. Sorry, that's just...
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
Sorry, continue guys. Yep.
So at the start of the year, what was the plan mapped out to you?
The plan was simple for me. It was always a good battle between me and Scooter. I think during the pre-season we always fight out hard, and you don't know who's going to take that number one role. I'm not making a selection at the end of the day, so it's up to the coaches. But Scooter's been a good ruckman for a long time, and I've learned a lot off him. As I said before, I'm just happy to get the opportunity in there at the moment. So
4 games. Have you learned something from each one of them? And if you have, what is it, game by game?
Definitely learn something from each one. You're coming up against different ruckmen each week, so it's a different beast each week, and learn a little something each game. Like Pitnat, my first game, West Coast, then I had Paddy. So he's a real experienced ruckman, and then Goldstein this week. So it's a different challenge every week, but I'm definitely learning something each week.
So Goldie's perhaps not the player that he once was, but what sort of challenge does he present you this weekend?
Yeah, he's a real mobile ruckman, and he gets around the ground really well, and he's quite crafty with his hands in the ruck. So I've just got to be accountable for him, but also know that I can bring my strengths at centre bounce, and just my hunt around the ball, just continue to improve that, and should be a good contest.
What advice has Scooter given you since he's been sidelined?
Yeah, he's given me heaps. I'll watch my vision with Scooter during the week, and we do have weekly plans against the ruckman I'm coming up against, and then we review the game together. And as I said before, he's a premiership ruckman, and he's a real experienced ruckman, so I'm continuing to learn heaps off him, doing craft with him, and Matthew Loby as well. He's full-time here now, so ruck coach, and so he's massive help as well.
Was there a moment or in a game where it sort of clicked and you went, yep, I belong at this level?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of times, like that West Coast game was real fun to play in. There was a lot of front half footy, and we were getting good looks out of the centre, and you just feels awesome when you're playing like that. But it can be different, it can be on the other side where you're getting smashed. But I'm loving working with guys like Connor Rosie and Zach Butters in the middle, and then the more experienced guys like Ollie Wines and Travis Boak.
What did you learn last week? Because you had to make sure the Port Adelaide midfield wasn't cut up by Western Bulldogs midfield like it was in a prelim. So what did you learn last week about what your role is as a ruckman in a real hot midfield contest?
Yeah, it was there. We know the Doggies are, got some real good midfielders, and they had the Bont out, but they were still flicking their hands around like they normally do, and I just had to keep following the ball, and I'm not just a ruckman, I'm a midfielder, so continuing to work on following the ball and hunting and getting involved, because we know that they can damage us, but we did a pretty good job, I thought, on the night on the whole.
So that where you're being challenged the most to be more effective in field play, because I understand what you are as a ruckman, but the challenge to be a field player?
Yeah, I think that's something that I'm working on, continuing to improve on. I'm showing glimpses of it for sure, but I'm putting my head down hard with Lobes and the coaches, and trying to get better at that every single week.
You obviously had to bide your time to come into the AFL side. Were you ever close to going to another club and seeking opportunity elsewhere?
I didn't really think about it, mate. I was just focused on, as I said, putting my head down and working hard and improving on my craft. I didn't really think about going anywhere else. I love it here, and I love the club, and they gave me an opportunity, and I want to repay the faith. And yeah.
What about being sidelined with the ACL? What was that stint like, and obviously being able to come back to where you are now? How did you see that period?
Yeah, that was tough. I was young. I was like 18, and come in and you do your ACL 5 games into the year. It sucks. No one wants to go through that, but through the boys and the club, they helped me heaps, and there were some dark days in rehab, but I just learned heaps, and it was a blessing in disguise. Got to work on my body, work on my fitness and things like that, and here we are now.
What is good? You were talking about your field play before. What does good field play look like to you? When you're not sort of having 8 bounces down the wing.
Yeah.
What does it look like there?
I wish I could have 8 bounces down the wing, but I think just general getting involved, linked up in general play. You see guys like Brody Grundy, Max Gorn, those sort of guys. I look up to those guys, and if I can just keep getting involved and keep getting the footy as much as I can, it's only going to help us and help me individually, I think.
There's so many different types of ruckman. You just mentioned a couple of them there, and they all play differently. Do you play like any of them, or are you your own beast?
Yeah, I like to think I'm my own sort of player, but I like to take little bits out of most of their games. I love Gorn and I love the way he plays. He's the best ruckman in the comp at the moment, and I'll watch a bit of his vision when I can and learn off him. But you know, you want to bring your own strengths and have your own sort of game as well at the same time, I think.
And just on that relationship between you and Scotty, you said he's helping you out a stack. What's it like working with someone who's helping you out, but you know that it is, at the end of the day, when you're both healthy, it's one of you that's playing. You're probably not both playing. How does that dynamic work for you both? Yeah,
it's good competition for spots, isn't it? Like it's you're helping each other, but at the same time you're crashing into each other. I think it's just good. It's competitive, and it's just what footy's good. You know, like it's always a battle, so it's good.
Just on that, has it been made explicitly clear that it is going to be just one of you? Do you think you can both play on the same side?
I think we can both play on the same side, yeah. And at the end of the day, it's not me that chooses that, it's the coaches, but I definitely think me and Scooter can play on the same side for sure.
I suppose that means that you think your forward craft is good enough?
Yeah, I think I can play forward. Like I started out as a forward as a junior, and I'm still working on that, and there could be opportunities where I get to go forward, and I want to take my best foot forward doing that. So yeah, I'll never count that out. That's for sure.
How confident are you if it does just come down to one of you that you can hold him off?
Yeah, I mean, I like to back my own ability and just keep that consistency in my game, and if my game holds up, it's good enough, you know. So yeah.
A couple of the boys just looking ahead to this week away from you. How did Charlie and Raz look out there today?
Yeah, they were good. They were moving really well. Charlie's come back into Sandford on the weekend, got through that game, and they're both moving really well. So is Raz. So look to see them hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I reckon.
What do you think that means? Do you think they're likely to play this week or not?
Yeah, they're always a chance, that's for sure. But as I said before, I'm not selecting, so I don't know what's going on in that sort of space. But I'd love to be out there with them.
And just holistically, going into a game against North, who on paper it looks like they're in all sorts compared to where you guys have been the last 3 weeks. What's that like preparing?
I don't think anything really changes for us. We don't look into them too much. You know, they're going through their own thing, and we're focusing on our plan. And we just want to stick to our plan and our process. And it's been building really well. We've had 3 wins on the trot now, so we just want to keep moving forward and building to something pretty special, I think. So.
What about playing in Tassie, mate? Do you know much about playing there? What are you expecting?
I've never played there before, so I don't know. Be cold, I reckon, maybe. Probably be raining or something like that, but it's just another ground, and we'll be right.
So you can do anything after that Cairns trip?
Yeah, that was a slog, I'll tell you that.
Last weekend, Shane Collins said some pretty negative stuff about Aaliyah. Do you have any thoughts on that? Did you read what he said, and do you agree, or do you think it's too harsh?
I think Aaliyah's come back from a bit of injury, and it's only his 2nd or 3rd game back, I think. So he's building pretty nicely, and he trained well today. So he's a full pro, and he's a gun. So he'll keep working into his form, and he's one of our best players. So he'll be right.